once again to Connections for Life, your gas utility weekly update show. I am Ted Peet.
Cuvo.
Joe Serrett, you always go second. Why do you always forget?
Because I'm not that smart.
Yeah, it just waits. So, all right.
Anyway,
So, hey, guys, welcome to our another episode, another rendition of our wonderful show we got going on here. Today, we got a special guest, Frank Rampton from Trenton Wax Tapes and whatever else they make, a ton of things.
Yeah, a bunch of different corrosion products, all good stuff.
Yeah. With that said, we're gonna get right to Frank after Joe gives us a little update on what we're changing the format of the show about.
Yeah. So this is Chad's brainchild, but it was a great idea.
Boy.
So we thought about, we can talk about UPSCO and what's going on, and there's little updates here and there. But when we're doing a weekly show, we wanted to have a little bit more content. So we thought we'd kind of do a little bit of an UPSCO profile, employee profile, some of the people that make all of this possible. Obviously, most of you know us, but not the people that work in the building. So we thought we'd bring some light to light some of the employees. Do a little bit of a quick question, maybe a minute or two long, just to get a little bit of information about them out there. And we just thought that would be neat. So that was a great idea from Chad. Chad, we really, obviously great idea. And as we have said a million times, if you have any other ideas, anybody, let us know. We'd be happy to try some stuff out. But that's it for us. We'll probably roll that out next week with our first employee, which will be Ken Eldred, who's our controller, I think is his title, right?
Yep, that's it.
So yeah, we're
cool
excited
titles.
to have Ken on.
Well, they're not like normal
controller.
ones like CFO. It's controller. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's one of the fun things about UPSCO.
So
with that said,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that'll be looking for that in the future with us. And today we're going to get into the interview with Frank. So Frank has what I believe is probably 2,000 years worth of industry experience in a short amount of time.
He's coated in wax tape.
He is.
He'll last forever.
He'll last forever. Frank's a big runner, and he does a plethora of other hobbies, but we'll get into that later. Welcome to the show, Frank. And welcome to the show, Frank. Thanks for joining us, my old friend Monty.
Great to be
Frank.
here.
What's up, buddy?
Great
How
to
are
be
you?
here. Doing good, guys.
How's Michigan?
We're starting to get good weather. We saw our first Oriole today. Orioles are those transitory birds, and hey, they're eating our
That's
oranges.
a big word. Totally.
You know how I know?
That's
You know
a
how I
50-cent
know when
word,
it's nice?
Frank.
When I can go outside and I don't have to wear shoes. That's how I know when it's nice out. Not birds.
Oh,
I don't
man.
follow bird migration patterns. It's all about.
So Frank, why don't you tell us a little bit? Just give us a little history about Trenton.
Trenton's we're 70 years old now. We've been around a while. It's
Same age. You and Trenton, same year. Crazy.
Started at birth.
We're based in the U.S., have been all along, and we're a manufacturer of coatings, wrappers, and fillers, primarily for this market that you guys represent us in. And for metal pipe and fittings, obviously, is what we do. And our main office is in Michigan, and we have offices in Europe and as well as in the Middle East.
That's awesome.
That's really going right now. I mean, we're following the parameters for the state of Michigan, which we're locked down through the middle of the month, but we're rocking and rolling. We're still making products, so it's all
awesome.
Good.
So essentially, Frank, I know some of our watchers, listeners, whatever you want to call them, will know about Trenton wax tape systems. But why don't you tell me a little bit about why you would use Trenton wax tape over another paint or coating?
Sure, I'm happy to do that. As we all know, every coating, whether it's a paint wrap, et cetera, has its places and applications. Where Trenton wraps shines or stands out is the non-ideal environments or conditions that we have it used in, like wet conditions, when the wraps can be effective in those situations. Paints, other liquid wraps, et cetera, require greater levels of surface preparation and more ideal environments to properly apply it. And
awesome.
Basically the differences between the coating types, the wax versus others, can be summarized in cost. There's greater cost when you have more surface prep.
More labor, obviously.
Waiting for the ideal conditions, pot life, cost. You had to mix it up, apply it right away. We don't have to do that with our product. And then the other aspect is convenience. You apply the wraps almost in all conditions, can be lower than 50 degrees, for example, Fahrenheit, to apply it. and there's not a shelf life issue. Primer doesn't dry out. So those
Right.
are.
Well, that brings me to kind of our next question, Frank, is you know, I've gotten the question in the past. I know we probably all have, but why would you choose to use, and you kind of covered it, but I want to expand on it a little bit.
Sure.
Why would you choose to use a wax tape above grade in comparison to like a paint or another coating system? I mean, you kind of touched on it, but I think it's important to really expand on that.
No, absolutely. You know, the Trenton offers a product, we call it our self-firming wrap. It's a wax wrap. It's soft when you put it on, and then it firms up to give you some mechanical protection when it firms.
And that's number 2, right, Frank?
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2 product.
Exactly.
And number 1 is
2,
below grade.
Exactly. And the number 2 comes in different colors, so you know you can, you know, color code your stuff like yellow's gas, that kind of thing. In comparison to paints and why you would use our product above grade that you asked versus other coatings. Number 1, it's durable. It's 80 mils thick, long-lasting protection. You know, I just went out to a job site before COVID took me off the road. Actually, before I saw you, Chad. And there's 20-year applications on risers.
It's wild.
Without changing anything. It was awesome.
So the answer is it works.
Yeah.
Exactly. The product works. It's easy to apply. It's hard to get it wrong. You know, with paint systems, if you don't sandblast, surface prepare correctly, you know, get all the stuff off the pipe, surface profile, remove contaminants. If you don't do all those things right, guess what? You're going to fail in a short
not going to work.
time.
It's not going to work.
Follow the directions, install properly.
Yeah.
And it's also very forgiving. Like, let's keep that in mind.
That's what I was just going to, I was literally just going to say that.
So go ahead. I'll let you have that.
So, you know, as you talked a little bit about number 2, I know one of the other products that's really taken off, and I can't ever hear more good things about it or say more good things, is your patch pads. Why don't you tell us what a patch pad is essentially first, and then where it's used for the most part, because I think they're really something that, there you go, look at that.
Yeah,
I think it's just something that the industry
didn't
needs.
even plan that.
No.
No, you didn't.
Voila.
And it's a really simple and elegant product. I mean, as you can see, it's you know, wrapped and so on very, very simply. For small coating repairs, exothermic welds applied over existing painted surfaces. The gas industry literally came to us requesting this product, and I think it's because it came from the industry. We listened to the needs, you know, when they came to us, and we produced a user-friendly, effective product. And that is why it's worked so well. I mean, we have, you know, this size. It's a 5x10, right? We didn't make this in our vacuum. We, you know,
one of the things I think that's one of my favorite things about that patch pad is when you are using an exothermic weld, you don't ever have to worry about getting underneath that wire, which is one of the toughest parts to do anywhere. With the patch pad, it just kind of worms its way in and works perfectly down there underneath
it. It is. I mean,
yeah,
that's
it's awesome.
500 mils, man.
You're never getting that paper towel off there.
I know. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I just ruined a patch pad. Cool, Frank. Well, thanks. Like, one of the other things is, you know, one of the questions that I know that I've gotten a lot, and I think we've probably all gotten, is like, what material, what product would you suggest for like a long length of an in-service rehab pipe? Like, if you're doing rehab on pipe, what product lines would you offer? Because I know that's been a question that I've had come up on me several times in the past.
By far, our most cost-effective product for long stretches of pipe that you're asking about, it's been used for 70 years, as long as the company's been around, is the Intercoat hot wax system. It's flood coated on, it's ragged to get to the bottom parts of the pipe. And we've seen 50+ years of performance success, taking the product, you know, uncovering the pipe, looking at it, looks like the day it was put on, which is what's helped me gets up in the morning. You know, I mean, it's just, when you have that kind of product that lasts that long, it's awesome. And,
yeah, and one of the things about that too, Frank, is that, you know, as you keep alluding to, and we've mentioned a few times, you said 70 years, 50 years, your product has relatively remained unchanged because it works, right? And because it doesn't need to be
proven. It's proven.
And I think one of the cool things, at least in the last 10 years that I've worked with you in your organization, is seeing you come in with different solutions to industry problems that didn't maybe occur before or weren't identified before. So that's really pretty awesome. The last thing I think we want to ask you is just really quickly, you know, I know the answer to this, but I think our audience might want to hear. What do you guys offer for a training regimen, and is there a certification process or program or anything?
I know this is going to be backwards because it's kind of cool.
It's upside down too, but that's okay.
And we have stickers. So
you can't expect him to get that right.
Exactly.
Look at Joe.
Yeah, so we fill out the card, train you. You guys would do that well, Chad. You know, all you guys do that, Ted, and anybody.
I don't know if I do it well, but I do it. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Like
that's
everything
most
else.
things in your life, right?
Most things, exactly. I do them. I don't know what the performance evaluation is.
Yeah. Right.
Go ahead, Frank. Sorry.
This card becomes the person who's trained. There's a date on it. So if there's year requirements, which we have in some cases, fine. Just get it redone in a year. And then the sticker is optional. Some guys like stickers, but
they love them.
They've had it as well.
And they just love the sticker anyway.
Yeah. It's just a fun little thing to give out and makes everybody happy.
Cool. So just go ahead, Chad. I'll let you finish up.
I just, I've known you for a long time, Frank. You're a wealth of knowledge in the industry and a wealth of knowledge in the wax tape world. It's always fun to have you around. It's always have you travel, and always fun to get in the ditch with you. Other than that, for me, I just wanted to say thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great to be here, guys.
And for me,
it's our pleasure.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, for me, Frank, it's been 10 years that I've had the pleasure of knowing you. We certainly have our share of stories. We don't need to tell them on here, but
Joe froze.
He froze right in the story.
That's the best part about it. We were going to talk about the key story, Frank, but we're going to leave that for another time. All right.
We're
not going to bring that up on this show.
Back?
All right.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back
now.
All right, Frank. Well, it was good talking to you. Thanks again, and hopefully we'll see you at a customer or in a ditch soon.
All right.
Love you, Frank. You stay safe, buddy. See you soon, man.
Well, thank you, Frank, for joining us today. We really, really appreciate having you on. It's always a pleasure. If you guys want to know some funny stories about Frank and his travels with the UPSCO guys, hit us up in the comments. Give me other than that, Joe, what do we got for some industry updates?
Yeah, thanks to Frank, obviously. Known Frank as long as I've been at UPSCO, and as you said, there's always a good story with Frank around. So really awesome to have him on. As far as industry update, saw a couple of things online that I wanted to bring up. I saw that looks like UGI is putting in a new training facility in Berks County, Pennsylvania. It looks pretty awesome. It was on LinkedIn, so that's pretty cool for them.
It's always neat. Always good stuff when
there's training facilities. Yeah, and they're always great. UGI does a phenomenal job with their training facilities now, so I can't wait to see what that one looks like. Couple SGA events coming up. There's an environmental compliance during pipeline construction on May 27th. There's a natural gas station design on May 28th. And then two that I really think are pretty good. There's on June 16th, the introduction to natural gas industry. That's a really good one. If anybody wants to, take a look at that, there's a lot of good information in there. And then on June 30th, July 2nd, there's a natural gas champions 3-part series seminar to take a look at. So a couple of things that we have there. I think Chad, I think you had something.
Yeah, I had one show update. NACE that was rescheduled for in June down in Houston has been canceled for the year. That's a shame. That's always a fun show. Always good to see, especially our principals there and some customers. I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit too, just about the area that I'm in. I'm hoping to get out and have lunch with somebody. That's kind of like my goal for the next couple weeks as the restaurants start to open up with outdoor seating. I'm really excited about that. So that's kind of my industry update.
So
Ted,
jealous that you have I'm so jealous you have restaurants opening up.
Yeah, we don't have any with actual tables outside. There's only 3 tables in the whole state, but it's quite a line.
Yeah.
I know you had one update too, Ted, didn't you?
I do. So we got word this week that the Distribution Contractors Association, one of the biggest associations in the contractor, right? Yeah, DCA. They have canceled the midsummer meetup and the fall meetup and are looking to do a combined midsummer one in October in Asheville, North Carolina, where the midsummer was originally supposed to be. So if you have any inquiries about that or want some information on it, please comment. We'll make sure we get it. Other than that, I think we got a preview for next. Who's coming on the show, Chad?
Yeah, we have Jim Shower coming on next week from Energy WorldNet. Just a great guy. Joe and I have known him for quite a bit. he's a wealth of information on what he does for EWN, and also he has his own show, kind of like ours, called Coffee with Jim and James, I believe, and they have some cute coffee mugs that you'll see when he has it. But just a great guy, and has some connections, as we always use the word, back to some people that we know and we're very close to as well. So it should be fun. And he's a great guest. So
I can't wait till I'm like the grand old man in the industry, like you guys. You're like, as long as we've been in the industry, we've built these contacts. I've been here like
20
a year and
years,
a half.
man.
Yeah, I know, that's what's crazy. I've been in a year and a half, and I'm
years.
like, it's no fair. They know more people.
Yeah,
You will
no,
eventually.
Jim's a great guy. As Chad said, we're really happy to have Jim on, and also to share his show. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
We'll add that on there.
Yeah, just a good dude.
Yeah, so that's it for, I think, for this one.
That's it for this week, guys. Hey, thanks for joining. Remember to click subscribe, like, comment, anything like that.
Yep, all of it.
Give us feedback, all right? Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.